Hi, good morning, Flosstube. I am Helen D. I hope everyone's week is off to a good start. Yeah. It's beginning of the week. It's actually Monday, the 23rd. I'm filming a day early because my parents fly back tomorrow and I'm going to pick them up at the airport, and I'm like, I don't know what the day's gonna bring. I'll film this today. See how YouTube wants to play with the upload. I'll upload it Tuesday, I'm sure. So yeah, my parents come back from Florida tomorrow. This is later than they typically come back. Usually they come back beginning of May. Yeah, beginning of May, and then they leave the end of October. But my dad had shoulder replacement surgery this year and it kind of took longer. So he didn't get clearance until later to fly, and done his PT and everything. And then airline tickets were outrageous. So this is when they're coming back. And then they're leaving early so he can get the other shoulder done. My son says he's a cyborg. He's the $6 million man now. So that's going on. It'll be glad to see them, or we'll be glad. What else? The last couple weeks, they had their first middle school dance. My son's in 7th grade. Because of COVID, first middle school dance. It was 80s themed. I wasn't going to chaperone. That sounded like torture. But my son is on the, basically, not the school board. It's the House of Representatives. They're the ones putting it on. So he had to be there, and when they didn't get enough people signed up to chaperone, of course, the advisor said, hey, can you guys ask your parents? And I don't think he really wanted me there, and I didn't really want to be there either, but there I was. I ran the concessions table. Middle school kids can eat. We were busy. It was 6 to 8. We didn't stop the whole time. We were busy, busy, busy. So hopefully they did well. It was a fundraiser so that hopefully they can take a bigger field trip next year, like an 8th grade trip. So that was different. It was fun. It was fun to see all the kids happy. Although one of my son's friends said after, yeah, it's a middle school dance. What would a middle school dance be without random girl drama? So apparently there was random girl drama. Not at the concessions booth. And that's all I saw. And then yesterday, we actually had our first local stitching meetup with my local group. We said it's time to open the garage back up and do some local group stitching. We had been meeting upstairs, and then over last summer, because of COVID, we were meeting in the garage. And I'm like, I said to my husband, I kind of like the setup in the garage because we put the tables together and everyone can see each other. So we opened the garage and it was great. It was great to see everyone. So also in that group, my friend Kathy and her sister-in-law Missy had started, I think I mentioned a few videos ago, they've started a Flosstube. They are 2 needles pulling thread. I've known Kathy for years. I'd never met Missy. I'm like, Missy, it feels like I know you because I've watched her videos, we've chatted. I'd never met her in person. So I finally got to meet Missy, which was great. And she picked me up this mug. She said, I could not get you this mug. East Coast girl. Because I am East Coast Crafter on Instagram. And as I've said before, that would have been the name of this channel, but I couldn't figure it out. So it's not. And it's too late to change it now. So that was sweet. She picked me up some scissors too. They're upstairs. She went to Martin's, which is like a local salvage chain of stores, and they have those, I think they're A-L-L-O-R-Y, Allery scissors. They're like $3. They're my favorite scissors. They're so sharp. I love them. So she had gone, and I'm like, oh my gosh, those are my favorite scissors. And then she later was like, I'm going back. Do you need some scissors? I'm like, yes, please. So she got me some scissors. I did 3 fully finishes since I've seen you last, but I don't have them to show you because they were for, I might have a picture. They were for my sister, her teacher gifts, like her end of the year teacher gifts. She had 3 things left. Well, I have a picture. They don't have any cording on them, but I'll show you anyway. So she did, it's New England Patriots. The math teacher is apparently a Miami Dolphins fan. And then that little one is a kitsune. It's a seven-tailed fox. And one of her teachers is big into foxes. So I finished them all as flat mounts. And then I put cording on them, and then they can hang them. We had talked at the Frugal Yankee Retreat that the Miami Dolphins one should be turned into a football. But Donna didn't think about that before she started it, so I didn't have enough fabric to do that. And then we thought, well, we should turn it into a mug rug, like for your coffee, and put a pocket on the back, and she could put a picture of Tom Brady in the back. But I didn't end up doing that either. She got a flat fold. It's not even a flat fold. It's a flat ornament. It's good size. And then they can hang it up wherever they want. So, but I saw her yesterday, so I sent those home with her so I know she has them. So that was my FFOs. Not seen here. I have one. This will be a short video. I don't have that much. I have one finished object. In the month of May, my original plan, which we'll talk about, was to do one new start a week and focus on it for that week, get as much done as I can, and then pick them up to finish later in the year. Well, the last week's start was a new start for you guys. You haven't seen it. It's not in this bag. It's in this bag. I picked up Plum Street Samplers Corgi Caboodle. I'm making this as a gift for my aunt. She had 2 corgis. So this is the original chart, and it's done in like pinks and corals. I changed mine. I want to get her name right. Southern Doxy Stitcher had done it on Instagram in purples. Purple's my favorite color. So I'm like, well, if I'm stitching it, I want to stitch it something I'm going to enjoy. So she had given her conversion, which was a DMC conversion. So I started with that, and then I went through my flosses and pulled out some fancy flosses that I thought would work. So the dogs, actually the dogs are not the same colors. This dog is darker because when I stitched them the called for colors, you couldn't even see his ear, like it blended in so bad. So I darkened him up a shade, and then I went with purple. And I kind of just, I picked some purples and used them around. So I haven't put them away yet, in case anyone's curious, although a couple of these are Victorian mottos, so I know that they're not easy to get. I used Color and Cotton Thistle, Victorian motto Purple Crocus. I used a light purple, a dark purple, and a medium purple. And Victorian motto Fantasy Clouds. I also did change up the greens. Green Pastures is a Gentle Art, and Classic Colorworks Tiny Vine. And then the darker is 433. I think it was called for 43. Wrong chart. It was called for 4353. It was called for the dogs 434 and 435. I've already put the other one away, but I ended up with 433, one shade darker, and 435. So that one is done. I thought I would give it to my aunt over the summer. And then yesterday, my mom was like, we're gonna try and get together over Memorial Day with all of us. And she said, oh, I'm gonna see if Tanya can come. And I'm like, I don't think I'll have it done this week. We'll see. And this fabric was 16 count Country French Cafe Mocha Ada. It's that one I can never say. And I had a piece this size, so I didn't bother to cut it. I just used it. So they are done, and there's no 1/1 on that. Some of her stacks in the little animal faces, they have like some over 1 stitching, but that one did not. So that was my one finished object. and then I have a few whips. So the week before that, my project, which you guys saw most of, was 31st block by Hands On Design, and that's the whole thing. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. I ended up getting the whole side done. I was pretty close last time, but I did end up getting that whole side done. So now I need to do the top, which the top has like pumpkin blossoms. And then this one actually on the bottom, she has the bottom of the pumpkins. I'll decide if I want to do that or not. You're not really going to see it, so it will depend on how I'm feeling when I'm going to finish it up. I'll do the top first, and if I'm feeling peppy, I will do the bottom. That one is stitched with all the called for colors on 16 count chalk Ada. And I also should have mentioned, when I was showing my flosses, I had someone ask what these cards are. Where do I get these cards for the Flossway bags? This is just an index card. I like the heavyweight index cards, and I typically can only find those at Walmart. I've never looked at like Staples or anything, but at Walmart they have heavyweight index cards. And then I have to trim like a 1/4 inch off the top and the bottom. And I like to put my dyer, the color, obviously this was a reused one, and then my skein of floss, and then when I pull off a section and I have extra, I put it in the back. So then I kind of know, start in the back and see if there's a scrid in there, and if not, I'll start a new one. So that's all those are. They're absolutely nothing fancy. But I like that I'm able to separate my used floss, like what I've already started, and they help them stand up a little better. I keep my floss in like a little shoebox size tote container, and they give them a little stability to stand up in there. I don't do my DMC like that. I just throw those on a bobbin. Actually, I can show you because that's this project. I just throw those on a bobbin and then use just hole punch. Old school ratty hole punch. So this is my other project that I have going. Oh, this fell out of my 31st block bag. I don't use the fancy floss for the backstitched border. I just picked a DMC that matched because it uses a ton of floss and I'm cheap. So this one is Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Under the Sea Sal. And I don't have a picture because it's a stitch along. But this is my SS bag stitches upside down. This is part 2. And I'm almost done. I have to finish the ray, and there's like one more little fish right here. And then up here there was 2 dolphins and a mermaid. And I thought this one had kind of fallen behind in June, and the next release comes out this week. So I thought, well, I'll pull it out, get caught up, and then maybe just keep it out and do the next. I did have to change a couple colors because they didn't show up on my fabric. I'm using 14 count Picture This Plus Haven Ada on that one. And then the other thing that I've been working on is my car project, which is currently All American by Primrose Cottage Stitches. I'm stitching this one on a coloring cotton that was like a one-off extra Fieldstone. It was like a leftover, it was June 2021 fabric. This is like my new favorite gray, so maybe I can find something similar. So this is where I am on that, and it's my new favorite gray because look how well that white shows up. So I have, and I don't want to take it out because, you know, it's on the go. So I'm down here of Home of the Brave. I have all of this, the little bunting and all of this done. So I'm gonna do Home of the Brave, and then I think I'm gonna move over here and do this because it's a lot of stitching, and then I'll just have this area, though this will take a while. So this has been my car project in May, and then when June comes around, I may pull it out to try and finish it up. That is all the called for colors. The red is Louisiana hot sauce from Weeks, and then the rest are different shades of blue DMC. I'm sure I'm using B5200 for the white, just to give it as much pop as possible. So that's what I've been working on. I had planned on doing 2 more starts because there were 2 more Fridays in May. I've been doing my May starts on a Friday, so I have the whole weekend. But then I realized I've got like some little things that really need to get done. And I didn't know if I would have enough time in June to do them. So I thought, well, I'll hold off on these last 2 starts and hopefully do them in June. One of those extra things was the Under the Sea. I wanted to finish that up. I have a secret stitch I need to do. I have a small for our main Stitch Day retreat. We're doing a smalls exchange. I need to figure that out. And I want to finish my summer berries so that I can get them fully finished before school's out. And school is out here in mid-June, so clock's ticking. So I thought, well, I better hold off on starting something and dedicating a whole week and get some of these other things done. The other 2 pieces I have ready to go, which I really, really, really want to start, are a Halloween piece and Satsuma Streets. She did a series of seasonal ones with 9 squares. I don't remember what this summer one is called. It's summer in Italian, I believe. No, it's not coming. So those are ready to go. Kitted up, ready to roll. Other things, I have giveaways. I have just a couple things I bought. I want to shout out a couple Flosstubers I've been watching. And I wanted to show, and I'll do this first. A few videos ago, I put out the free chart for this piece. I called it Fabric and Flosstube. Actually, I called it Flabric and Flosstube, and a couple people had to be like, I think you made a typo. So Flabric and Flosstube is here. I've had several people who have stitched this email me their finish or post it and tag me on Instagram, and I know I should have saved them all so I could show, and I didn't. But I wanted to show you a couple of the really creative ways I've seen that piece finished. So the first one is, and I wrote them down, this was Denise on Instagram. She had an Ort bag, like that hangs off the side of your desk. I thought I just closed it. She used my chart to make like a cover for the weighted part. So I thought that was, people are way more creative than I am. So that was fantastic. And then I had 2 different people. Let me show you Erin's. Erin, Perpetual Project, she stitched it up and turned it into a project bag, which is like gorgeous. She said she used a 28 count, so it's decent size on her bag. And hello, look how well she matched that up. So gorgeous. And then I had a couple of people turn this into berries. Now I want to stitch it again. This one is, ooh, I should have written them down better. I'm sorry, one is Alicia and one is Patricia, and I didn't write them down very well. So, whoops. There's that one with the words kind of on an angle. And then this one I might have to zoom. So again, this one is the words, and she kind of switched them around so that Flosstube, the longest word, wouldn't be on the bottom. And then some beautiful blackbirds. She put all the little like extras and she added a thimble and a spool and made. Now I need to stitch it again, people. But I love it. I love seeing people different. I've seen a lot of different fabrics. A lot of people have enjoyed using the trim. This is the Lady Dot vintage, she has a name for it, vintage ruler trim, I think. So this is still in my link tree. It'll be down below if anyone needs that chart. It's just a PDF. Let's do giveaways. Last time we had 3 things. My friend Tina had bought 2 of these to do the stitch along, the hashtag berry season sal. So we gave away autumn berries, and this went to Mary McCarthy. The Eagle O is for Old Glory went to Jamie Clonch. And then Patriotic Picnic from Primrose Cottage went to Rose Castro. This one and the Eagle chart were generously donated by Carla at Cobweb Corner. Before we move on to the new giveaways, I want to give you, this will kind of be last reminder because it will be the last video before Memorial Day. Carla, to celebrate when I hit 10,000 subscribers, offered a 10% off code. It's good on everything except individual skeins of floss. But if she has like floss packs and things, it does work on those. Bead packs, if you're doing any Noras or Miras. It's HD 10K and it's good through May 31st. One caveat, Carla is currently on vacation and her shop is closed because she and her husband had been helping a family friend whose family are farmers, and he goes out and helps them do planting and then harvesting in the spring and fall. And he was out there helping, and they've had horrible rains and storms, and the fields are flooded, and they've just had, it's been one thing after another. So everything's a little behind, and then they had a family emergency. So Carla and Paul, her husband, were planning on going on their own vacation, and they decided instead, they canceled their vacation, and Carla went with him to the farm to just help with whatever they could. And she has posted, she posted a video kind of showing the farm and the damage and kind of talking about what they're doing on her Flosstube. So that will be linked below as well. So her shop is closed. She's expecting to be back on May 29th. You can add things to your cart. You just can't check out. And I do put a link down below that will include, when you click on the link to shop, the code will already go in your cart. So, but it's HD 10K, which will also be down below. So that is that. So this week for giveaways, we're gonna go by numbers because I have 2 things from Carla, and then I've had some people send me in charts, so I pulled some of those. Peg and Ann both sent in things last week, so thank you very much. Actually, I got their packages on our way to go set up for the dance, and then I had to wait to open them. It was torture. I was slinging pizza and baked goods instead. So for this week, I'll pull them out of here. So the first 2 are from Carla. Giveaway rules, you need to be over 18 so you can legally give me address. Please don't say the words giveaway or win. I'd appreciate it if you're a subscriber, and I also link Carla's video below if you want to go subscribe to her channel as well. So the first 2 are from Carla. So number 1 is a brand new chart from Market. It's Imprints, Berries and Blooms. It's Heart and Hand. She's gonna do, she teased that she's doing a whole little series of these, and these are little. One is 30 by 41 and one is 35 by 37. So seriously, you could whip these up. No time at all. So that's number 1. Number 2, I love this chart and I have it and I haven't stitched it yet. So I thought maybe if I give it away, it'll prompt me to stitch it. This is Plumberry by Bent Creek, and it was just re-released. 39 by 107, it's not big. It does use some little Jabco buttons, but you could put any button in there or Smyrna crosses. So this is number 2. So thank you, Carla. And then I have, like I said, some folks that had sent in things. They're out of order. Okay, number 3 is Rosewood Manor Spanish Proverbs. It's a really pretty colors. I'll read it. It says, more things grow in the garden than the gardener sows. So that's really pretty. This one is Weeping Tree Sampler by the City Stitcher. So this will be number 4. And I'll ship these anywhere. And then number 5 is a piece of fabric. Okay, so this is labeled, it's Sycamore Seed Pod, and it's labeled 53/53 count. And I'm assuming that means it's not even. I'm also assuming, having seen this, and I hear people talk about stitching samplers and things on these super high count linens. This might as well be my shirt fabric. I cannot even see a hole. So if you have super bionic man magnifying eyes and you'd like to try a piece of 53/63 linen, it says it's 11 by 20. I don't know, it's a good size piece. 53 count, you could fit all kinds of things on here. I don't know how you do it. This is number 5. It made me laugh because I was like, no thank you. No thank you. And then last, well, before, I'm gonna do a couple shout outs, but purchases, a couple things. Carla sent me a couple of charts. This is Primrose Kind Words. And this was another new chart, Erica Michaels, Coffee or Chocolate. These pillows, there's 2 pillows, are specific, right? One's coffee and one's chocolate. However, the berries use motifs from the different charts. They are not coffee or chocolate specific. This one has an initial, there's an alphabet. Those I love these. You could stitch those whatever you want, right? One of her Bristol berries, which were a red sampler berry last year, I stitched in autumn colors. You could make this a red sampler. Do it as a gift, put someone's initial on it, do it in a really pretty bright hot pink variegated floss. So I love those that are completely open to interpretation. So that's what I got. And then I ordered some finishing fabric. I got it online. I got it on Etsy from Darlene's Fabric Shop. I thought this piece was really pretty for like kind of retro-y patriotic, but what I really wanted was this. This is a fat 1/8 bundle, and I'm going to take it apart to show you the size. I just wanted to keep the name. So it's a Moda fabric, and it's called Too Cute to Spook. And I think it's kind of an upcoming, like I don't know if it's fully released yet. So fat 1/8 bundle. These pieces are like 9 by 21-ish. They're perfect for finishing smalls. Like you don't need a super ton of them. And I love that you get all these, they'll all match, right? They'll all match. There's a list on the back of the different ones. These bats are my favorite, and I hadn't seen them like without that on it. Look how cute they are. So there's bats and pumpkins and just some dots, right? Everything matches. Everything's matchy-matchy. So I picked those up for some Halloween finishing. This is what they were wrapped in, which, you know, you wouldn't use that as a finish, but I'm gonna hold on to this. When I did my patriotic tiny town and I hand stitched that little, what's called a fly stitch, I took, and when I do my next one, I will film a tutorial. I took a piece of my vintage ruler trim and I pinned it right on there because look, it's got my ruler, and that is what I used to keep my stitches evenly across. I pinned 2 pieces on, and on the bottom one, I went from 1 inch to 1 inch, and then on the top one, I went from 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch, and everything lined up. So I'm not throwing that away, keep that. So that is all the stuff I have to show, and then like I said, I've tried to go through, and I know there's more. I've been trying to find some new Flosstubers to check out, so I have 3 suggestions for you. I believe it's Tracy with OG Stitchery is another New England Flosstuber. I'm hoping I'll meet her probably, I think she's going in November when we get together in New Hampshire. So she's been fun to watch. I've been watching Stitching with Sandy, who is in California, and she's a kindergarten teacher, and she's so soothing. Like, it's just relaxing for me to watch Sandy. And Sandy and I work on a lot of similar projects, and her finishing is really, really cute. And then I just started watching Audrey Stitchywitch 42 recommended Kitschy Whips. I've laughed and laughed and laughed. She's very funny. She does a lot of big Nora Corbett's and Mirabilias and Chatelaines and these big blingy fun projects. So she's been really, really fun to watch. So I'll put the links below. That's it. That is the end. Yeah, school's not, I'll be back a couple more times before school's over. And then the summer's always hard because camp and going away and different things, but I have a few more weeks before then. So I hope everyone has a good end of the week. If you're in the US and you have a long weekend for Memorial Day weekend, I hope your weather is nice. We have to plant the garden this week. My husband was going to plant yesterday, and they were calling for severe thunderstorms and hail. And I know other parts of the state got hail, and we thought, you know, he grew plants from seed this year and we babied them. You don't want to put them out and then 3 hours later have them get knocked down by hail. So he didn't. And then we didn't get any hail. That's how it works. So I think we're going to go out tonight and get those in the ground. That's about it. So hope everyone is doing well, and I will talk to you again in a couple weeks.